pieces or whatever, or
Okay.
just using.
Thanks.
I brought a little bit of tubing.
Okay?
Yeah.
So there's some more over there. Just show how you can blow things on a torch and actually
so I can always
create
cut out
pieces
stuff, but-
solely out of lamp or glass.
Check.
Are these two
So-
glass?
Recording.
It's all glass.
Everything's great.
So like
Pyrex is,
Except for that.
that glass with the fun
but it's different. DID-Y. It's two dimiums, neodymium or praseodymium, and they're both rare earths. And just recently, the prices of these glasses went really skyrocketed.
I'm gonna try this.
I was getting them for about $18 a pair, and now they're $38 a pair.
Wow.
And that's from a wholesale.
I got them in the store for 34. Yeah.
34. That's a good price. Yeah. So I'm about due for another pair of these. Are getting all funky. So and then there's the torches. There's like a whole range of torches, and I won't get into that unless you want me to later on.
Do you want the other torch?
No, we'll make this work.
Sure, I can get it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I'll see how this one works. The one thing that, what is it? The other torch? A major bench burner? Oh, I could use it. The one thing that I don't like about this is it's got a pre-mix center fire, and it's really noisy, and it's also really hard to control the atmosphere. So you can get reduction and stuff on the glass. It makes it kind of weird.
Do you want us to turn this off?
Do you go get it?
Yeah, he's gonna
Okay, we'll switch then. We can talk more. I end up making all kinds of different canes. I make a lot of my canes are like mosaic face canes, real intricate. Some of you have seen these already, but let's put them out there. And then I do a lot of little, I call these micro chinos, little latiginos, you know. So then I use that for decoration or whatever. And you can never have enough of these. I got jars and jars and jars of them, you know. You always need the one you don't have. So I'll spend half a day or a day just pulling all kinds of different canes and stuff, different color combinations that I can use later on.
What kind of torch is this?
This is called a major bench burner. And it's a major as opposed to the minor. The minor's just got this small tip. The major has this big tip also.
You can use either one.
Yeah, this is surface mix. Are we on again?
Yes.
Okay. Let's pull some twisties. Clean off the glass a little bit. Usually have a damp rag. Now soft glass, in contrast to Pyrex, you have to heat up slowly. So I'm rotating it while I'm moving it in and out of the flame until it heats up a bit. If you put it right in there, it'll just pop all over the place because of thermal shock. Pyrex you can get away with most of the time just putting it right into the flame. So I'm going to just make a simple two-color twisty just to show the principle behind it. Heating up about 1.5 inches of rod. Sticking them side by side, then I'm going to get the axis so it's more or less straight right through the center rather than off to either edge. And slowly start heating it up and trying not to twist it. I have a little marver right on the top of mine, right here, so you can roll things on. It's, end up customizing these things. So you try not to twist it initially, but you let the glass collapse back down on itself. And allow it to shorten and become one homogeneous piece of glass. So I'm holding it up at an angle so that gravity and surface tension pull it back down into one blob, more or less. there's a little twist on it, but not too much twist. You don't want to twist it too much at this stage, otherwise it'll get all muddy and stuff by the time you pull it. So you get an even heat base in the whole piece. Come out of the flame. Don't pull right away. Just waiting for the heat to get going on it. Then you rapidly twist in both directions. Opposite directions, I should say.
When you mixed it, why didn't all come one thing?
Well, I didn't twist it until after I started pulling. But when I was allowing it to collapse back down, I tried to keep the colors even on both sides.
You don't have to nail it.
No, it's small. It's hot though, still. Okay, I'll do another one with 3 colors, and then we'll get on to some other stuff.
How much does a cane like that cost? Do you order them by
This
the bunch?
glass, approximately transparents are anywhere from $5 to $6 a pound, and the hot colors like this are from $6 to $9 a pound, and then there's like gold rubies or the filigrana. But these colors, these are like the adventurine, sparkly glass. Those are about $18 a pound or so. So it's actually pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Why are transparency cheaper?
Easier to
That'd be
make.
cool to make something with the glass.
So your
What kind
pigs
of
usually
cane?
have some kind of metal?
They're glass.
Well, they all have metallic oxides in them, but transparents are just easier to make. The hot colors have more toxic stuff. All that good.
No, it's a hot color.
They're like the bright reds, yellows, oranges, the gold rubies, colors that are, I guess, what they deem trickier to make.
Are more expensive.
Well, like this pink here, that's the Rubino Oro. It's a gold ruby. That's a pricier color. Then there's
That's real gold, isn't it?
yeah. That's about $24 a pound or so. And it'll strike darker than that. That's before it's struck even.
How much does one of those weigh?
There's about 6 rods in a pound, but the rods are a meter length. I don't know how much they weigh. Okay, so I put these together in kind of a triangular fashion. Now, the trick with doing 3 is that you can trap an air bubble inside if you're not careful. So what you do, once I get these the ends in alignment on the center, I'll work the bubble out from one end to the other, kind of like a Ziploc baggie, where you just kind of squeeze the bubble up and out one end. If you don't do that, then when you're using the twisty, if it has a bubble in the middle of it, it'll pop. It'll keep blowing up. So again, hold it at an angle so that the flame is preheating the direction you want to go, and slowly start heating it and trying not to twist the colors. Work it back and forth a little bit. And with not twisting the colors, you just allow surface tension and gravity to pull it down into a homogeneous piece
So
of
it looks like
glass.
you're working mostly at the end of the flame rather than down here.
Yeah, if you work too tight in it, it'll boil the glass. Soft glass actually likes to be worked with a torch that has compressed air in it as well as oxygen. So it's a softer flame. But I haven't used one of those type of torches yet. John Reed said they just got some in. I want to check them out. Right. Yeah. So see, there's still areas on the right-hand side here for the air to escape. And usually you'll trap a little bit of bubble at the very tail end of it, but it won't matter so much because Okay, now it's all one piece. Get an even heat on it. Don't pull too fast. Stretch over there. You can work out the tail end.
Kind of catch when you run out of gas, when you can feel it from pressure in your right hand.
What do you mean catch?
Well, could you keep pulling so much that you just end up with filament and that's
Oh
the
yeah,
problem.
yeah. You don't want to
get
pull
any
it too
sense
thin,
of-
too fast.
It does kind of take practice. It takes kind of knowing where it's most heated.
Yeah.
And you might try and describe that.
Just yeah, it's a hard one to describe. It's like
Well, that's why you blew it in the middle, right? To throw it down so it wouldn't just Well, because a lot of times if you get it to the diameter where you want it and then you blow on it to cool it, then it'll kind of control what the rest
yeah,
of it.
right. Like when I blew right there, it was stretching too thin. If I didn't blow, it might have just drooped all over my lap. You know, so pull it out. You want enough heat to be able to do the whole pull, but you don't want it too hot because it'll just droop all over your lap. That's kind of why I wait. You know, after I get it all heated evenly, pull it out of the flame and I'll wait and sometimes rock it back and forth, and you're actually literally pouring the glass back and forth. You know, it's just moving down this way and then you rock it this way and it moves down that, and you do that a couple of times until you see it's the right heat base. And
It also kind of gets the skin.
yeah,
skin
it
is
kind
cooling on
of gets the
outside.
coating on the outside, and then the inside still has that heat base. So it's just, you know, practice and learning how to read the heat base. It's,
You might want to start with like little tiny short twists when you start out so you don't
Yeah.
end up with
the thing you end up using a lot is stringers of any particular color. So this adventurine gold I use stringers of quite a bit, and I'll just pull a little one to show you. It's very temperamental, so you can't like crunch it up or smush it together and then pull out a stringer. So I just pull it out of the tip, just gradually as you heat it up. And you can do that with other colors as well. So I'm heating ahead of where I'm actually pulling from. I'm just rocking it back and forth.
So again, you're still using gravity by keeping the angle up on your left hand.
Yeah, it's partially gravity and it's partially to aid in the preheating of the rod you're going towards. You know, whoops, because this glass is real temperamental. It blows up like this all the time. It does. So part of the reason I stretch it into stringers is because it's hard to use it into its in its thick diameter. I mean, you can use it, but it's really slow. You got to be super slow, and then if it blows up halfway into a bead or something, then you got to deal with that, and it's a hassle. So usually, I like just small hints of it in my pieces.
Why doesn't that bend when you take it off? It's hot like that.
Which
Well,
this?
Yeah, when you took it off, it's straight. I think it would bend.
Oh, it's not that hot. It cools pretty fast, actually. Okay, now we have something to work with. I brought some more here, so you can see, like on this one, see it's more lattice-like. That's just if you do the same thing using like these type of canes, which are the filigrana clear case canes. You can get those more lacy looking microchinos.
Is that how they did like this one?
Huh? No, that was pulled in the furnace.
That was different.
Yeah, that's a whole different deal. Huh?
Wait, Lino does his?
Yeah. Okay, do some simple beads. These are stainless wire that I've dipped in kiln wash. And the kiln wash is the release, and you can do 1 or 2 coats of the kiln wash. It's mostly the consistency of the kiln wash that you use that's important. You gotta have it kind of like thick pancake batter. If it's too thick, it doesn't work. If it's too thin, it doesn't work. So it's like just getting that right consistency. Okay, and just preheating this rod. Clean off the tip of this a little bit.
You're not working up at the tip of the rod, is there a reason for that?
There's no kiln wash there now.
Oh, that's the only reason.
Yeah, usually I'll dip the rod about that long and then make a bead there and pull it off. And then make a bead down here and pull it off and then just work it down. One thing we don't have here that I usually have at home is a hot pan full of vermiculite that you put the bead in after
You
you're
have
done.
a can of vermiculite.
Oh, that'll do in a pinch. So you heat up the rod just enough so that the kiln wash incandesces a little bit. That'll make it hot enough so the glass will wet to the rod. And you don't want to put a lot of force on the kiln wash because you can pull it loose. If you're not heating the glass enough and you're pulling too hard, it'll just pull loose from the kiln wash and then you kind of have a mess. It's hard to do what you want when the bead's slipping around on there. So you just heat it up and wind it down the length of the bead that you want.
What's the rod?
Stainless. The ends are really the trickiest part as far as laying the glass on because you don't want a jagged edge. So it's just pay attention, you know, at the beginning and the end of winding so that you get a nice clean edge. And I cooked it in a little bit and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger diameter, so I'll add more glass.
Are you adding glass?
Yeah. Just to make it a little bit bigger diameter. A little more. There's a lot of different ways to make like little fetishes and stuff that you can hang onto your work. You know, you can make a loop on the piece, you know, so you don't have to have a hole going through the piece. You can just attach a little loop onto it.
A
You
glass
can use,
loop?
a glass loop, yeah, and then you can wire it or something. You can use one of these tungsten picks and actually pierce a hole right through it. So even if you have like a bead like this and you want other holes hanging off the bottom, you can just pierce holes through the bottom portion of that. The possibilities are really endless. It's just a matter of how much time here I have to show you things. So I heat up the glass, marver it,
What kind of surface is that?
graphite.
Graphite?
Roughly marvered out. I don't want it. So this is just the base. Base rod. I'm just going to do a simple feather bead first. And then maybe put some other hanging loops or something on it. Show that. So heat up the surface just so it's tacky. And you heat up the white glass. I'm going to trail this white all the way around. So heat up enough white glass to do the trail sufficiently. And then a lot of people use steel picks or something to feather it, but I just use the glass. Leaves a cleaner feather in my opinion, and if you use the same colored glass that you did the trail with, you hardly notice it if anything left in there. So you heat it up in a line, and then drag it, just floating on the surface.
Kim just said it's just like cake decorating. It's like the top of the
Right.
stairs.
It is.
That's it. Well, I don't heat it up. You just, I mean, the glass point is out of the flame. You come out of the flame to do the feathering. So it's just the heat that's in the bead itself that's moving. You do lose a little bit of it at the very end, but not too much.
Yeah, you don't have to anymore.
Yeah. I do after I put it in warmed vermiculite and I take it off the rod, everything goes through another annealing process. So I'll take them off. Sometimes they'll sit there for a week or so, but they will go into the annealer again and get re-annealed.
What do you use to keep the vermiculite? You have a special
Just
tank?
like a hot plate, you know, get it out of Goodwill.
So you leave it on constantly?
Well, until it's full, and then I turn it off and go have a break. Come back when it's cooled off.
Is it just like in a tin like this?
And then clean up those edges a little bit. Let's see.
You getting the voice on there?
Hope so.
Or is it
Now let's do maybe some other hooks or something on it. Since I said you could do that, let's try it. Heat up a spot where you're going to attach it. Heat up a bit of the glass. Stick it on there. Don't pull it out too much at first because it's really soft stuff. And usually I pull the hoop and make it bigger than what I want. And then shrink it back down. And the reason for